So I'm working with this new prospect recently, and he's a photographer. He's got a great business model, really amazing, like most artists at what he's doing, but having trouble lining up prospects to keep the business going and keep everything on a roll, including making more and more money every year. And we started looking at what the breakdown was. So a question I love to ask anyone I'm working with, and anyone should be asking themselves constantly, is where am I now? Where do I want to be? What's the gap between those two? Basically, what's stopping me from getting where I want to be? In this case, this guy told me the gap was he couldn't close. So he's meeting with new prospects, having these really, really good intake conversations. They love his portfolio. They love the work that he does. But at that point, he's handing them everything. Here's what I can do for you. Here's what I've done before. And why don't you get back to me when you're ready to start, and we'll get everything scheduled. And then he's not hearing from him. Right? So people aren't getting back to him. It happens a ton in sales where we want to add a lot of value. We don't want to be seen as these pushy salespeople, so we show our client everything we have and then let them know whenever they're ready to get started, we're here. And then we sit patiently by the phone and hope for it to ring, which in this case, in most cases, doesn't work. So I started exploring what the holdup was. I said, what's the next step for you? What needs to happen to move this process forward and actually get you a sale? And he says, well, the next step is for the client to put something on the calendar for the date of our photo shoot and then to give me a down payment. And to which I responded, fantastic. Let's tell them that from now on. And he kind of looks at me funny and says, tell him what? And I said, tell him that the next step, since everything looks good, is to get me a down payment. Let's pull out our calendars and get the date of our shoot scheduled. And he says to me, "Oh, I couldn't do that. That'd be pushy. That's much too forward. My client, I couldn't do that." And so we started exploring this idea of pushy, because I think a lot of us have this, right? We don't want to feels like we don't want to pressure us. We don't want to pressure our clients. We don't want to come across as salespeople. But really, in my mind, and to most of my clients, the opposite is actually true, where it's not pushy to ask somebody for the next step or to tell them what the next appropriate step is moving forward. It's simply professional. I can't think of any other profession. If I'm going in to see the doctor and my appendix is about to burst, I'm having terrible stomach pain, the doctor's not going to send me home with literature, ask me to look it over and say, hey, if you feel like it, come back in and let's take care of this. They're going to go ahead and say, hey, what we need to do now that we figured out what's wrong with you and what to fix it is we got to schedule that appendectomy. We got to schedule that surgery. So go ahead. Actually, let's just do it right now. So get your insurance card out. We're going to build that thing and we're going to get you on the table. So all these other professions where we consider it no-brainer, actually unprofessional not to propose the next step. And yet when we own our own business a lot of the time, especially service-based, where we can control the pricing, we can control everything, we get real gun-shy about telling our prospects what the next step is, when really we're doing a terrible disservice to them, because that's what they're here to meet with us for, is we're the expert in our field. They're looking for us to guide that sale to the next place, and we're doing a disservice to ourselves, keeping them from paying us. Not a great idea if I'm looking to grow my business.